Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the other side of the corner. Welcome to your latest Chelsea transfer news. Something is definitely brewing now. There is absolutely zero doubt about this. Noni Madueke to Arsenal is definitely on. Once again, I repeat, there is absolutely no doubt about this. Now, whether this happens or not, we shall see. But I feel like as soon as you get personal terms agreed, Arsenal will initiate the conversations with Chelsea Football Club at a club-to-club level. Right now, everything is between Arsenal and Noni Madueke. They're trying to understand whether a deal can be made. New rounds of talks apparently have initiated with Noni Madueke directly, and Noni Madueke 100% is entertaining this thought, is entertaining this transfer move. So, ladies and gentlemen, look, all I can say is that, do you know what? This is, as I've said in my previous video, as soon as this new story has started to materialize, that for both parties, for all parties, I'll even throw in Arsenal there. We'll get into the Arsenal situation soon. But for Chelsea Football Club, for Madueke, it is the best scenario right now to part ways. We have seen enough. Madueke is not the levels, and Madueke probably looking at all the transfers that are coming through this season already in this transfer window. He probably feels, you know what? Yeah, I'm probably lower down the pecking order, and I need to part ways. And for us, we've given him enough time. We've given him enough opportunity. He hasn't grabbed it with both hands. He hasn't developed in the manner that we wanted him to. And the footballing IQ at times is lacking. On top of that, his attitude is not always the greatest. I feel like he's always up to kiddish behaviors at times. And that's what you're going to get with a kid, right? That's generally what you're going to get. And for us, we're probably going to be able to fetch the highest amount of money right now for Madueke, because he's at a level where he's not completely declined, but at the same time, he's not completely ascended either. So it's going to be the right price. And the right price, I feel anything in the vicinity of 50 million, I think we would do very, very good. And Arsenal Football Club, just like we are Brighton's best customers, Arsenal Football Club are Chelsea's best customers. So hopefully they bring the bag. I'd say at around 50 million, that could be a deal. But then again, they need to find personal terms agreement. Whether they can manage to find that, that'll be interesting to see. Madueke, what are his ambitions? What are his requirements? If he's going to go to Arsenal, surely he's not going to go for anything less. I don't know exactly how much he's on at Chelsea Football Club, but I don't think it's anything astronomical. So how much more improvement can he see in terms of his wages with Arsenal? Time will tell. Time will tell. One thing, Arsenal, man, they keep taking all our flops and they pay them well. They pay them well. A lot of people keep saying, oh, Arsenal, they run so well, man. Look at the way all of these different phases. What phases, man? One of the worst things about Arsenal Football Club is their wage bill. They pay willy-nilly to everyone and they don't end up winning anything. They pay average players a lot of money. And I'm pretty sure they're probably going to make Noni Madueke very happy as well. A lot of people worried, oh, Miz, if he goes to Arsenal, he might blow up. Yeah, I don't think so. Blowing up and Madueke, yeah, they don't go together. They really don't go together. I'm not worried about this. I'm just glad that we've found a suitor in the Premier League and they're going to pay good money for it. And we move because I've got no doubts that we're not going to see anything more than what we've already seen of Noni Madueke at Chelsea Football Club. Now, this is the latest, ladies and gentlemen, coming from Fabrizio Romano, late UK time yesterday. Understand Arsenal had new round of talks for Noni Madueke as the player could be open to the move. Nothing advanced yet in terms of the club-to-club approach or direct negotiations, but AFC maintain contacts. So nothing official between the club, but the club, Arsenal Football Club, are directly talking to Noni Madueke on a consistent basis. And this is on top, separate from Eberechi Eze deal as well. So don't worry, if Eze happens, it's not the end of the world. They're looking to get a winger and they're very keen on Noni Madueke. Premier League, I mean, he's played in the Premier League. I wouldn't say he's proven anything, but he's a Premier League player. He's got that, taste of Premier League and he understands what it takes to be a Premier League player. And this is probably one of the biggest factor for Arsenal and Arteta. So right now they're talking to Madueke. Let's see where it happens. I think within the next few days, if we see a personal term agreed between Arsenal and Madueke, then we're going to start seeing some movement happening with club to club. Now, what does that mean for us? Hopefully, that means another new attacker will be coming our way. We're already short in the winger positions. With Madueke gone, we definitely need another one in, and hopefully that last one is Mohamed Kudus. Hopefully Kudus doesn't do anything madness with Tottenham situation. Hopefully he's stalling that a little bit until we hear something in regards to Madueke. So look, I can't complain too much about some of the businesses that we've done so far this window. Dilap, pretty good. Kittens, I'm a little bit 50-50 about. Ja Pedro, I'm happy about. And if we can get rid of Noni Madueke and a whole heap of other players that we need to get rid of, bring in Mohamed Kudus, do you know what? We might be on the way to rectifying the situation. And if we can go on and win the Club World Cup, baby, it's starting to look good. Now, next up, ladies and gentlemen, very, very important news. Maresca says Lavia has a muscular problem. Not sure if he can make it versus Palmeiras. Big blow. Already Caicedo not going to be available. Now you're saying Lavia might not be available. This is starting to look a little bit sticky icky for me. Sticky icky. Yes, Palmeiras won't have a couple of their centre backs, no problem. Some their main, starting centre backs, that's going to be a bit of an issue for them. But if we don't have Lavia and Caicedo was already, we knew because he picked up a second yellow card, the match against Benfica. This was already going to be a bit of a problem without Caicedo. Now you're telling me that Lavia is probably not going to be around. Then it becomes very, very interesting because I feel like now it's in the balance. Lavia and Caicedo, they are huge for us in midfield. Everything that we do defensively, off the ball, on the ball, progressing from defense to midfield to offense, these two are very, very vital to all of that. So what happens? Isugu, does he start? Do we still trust him? Does Maresca trust him to start? Andre Santos' name gets floated around. Is he going to start? Or is it going to be Reece James in midfield, along with perhaps, I don't know, Enzo Fernandez? And then some people are saying maybe Keenan Dewsbury Hall in that number 10 position where Enzo Fernandez plays. So Enzo Fernandez and Reece James are probably going to deputize in that midfield a little bit deeper with Dewsbury Hall progressing forward. Depending on how we set up, we've been setting up in a different manner lately. We've been setting up with 3 at the back, kind of wing backs on the ball, and 2 midfielders, and then number 10, and the 2 inside forwards, 2 midfielders, and the striker up front. So we shall see. We shall see how it all works out. But Lavia potentially not going to be available on top of Caicedo is a huge blow. Huge blow. It kind of makes the game in the balance against Maresca, against Palmeiras, against Maresca. Maresca says Pedro Neto is very sad and it will be down to the player to decide if he wants to play versus Palmeiras. The club are supporting him. I mean, of course, devastating news, as we all know, in regards to Diogo Jota. Pedro Neto was, with him at Wolves. His teammate was there for several years, and then Pedro Neto also knows him through Portugal as well. So this is understandable. I completely understand if he's not in the right frame of mind, he shouldn't play. He really shouldn't play, and we will all understand that. His close mate has passed away, which has been a disaster. Everyone knows it's been a shock to the footballing world and just in general sense. So Pedro Neto could be another miss, and now this game really does become very, very interesting against Palmeiras. Next up, Abel Ferreira, Palmeiras manager. It can be good opportunity for the local American people to join us against the English. Tomorrow will be the Independence Day. Join us, my days. Abel Ferreira trying to rally up the crowd. Look, we need to find the strength within, and we've been doing well since the loss against Flamengo. We've shown good character. We've, it seems like we've learned from that loss. And we are, sometimes you need a loss like that when you're going through a competition as such. You look at Argentina in the World Cup, lost their first match against Saudi Arabia, and then since then, boom, they never looked back. Sometimes maybe you just need that little bit of kick at the back, and maybe that wakes you up, and this might be the case. So look, Abel Ferreira trying to do his level best. Of course, in America, South Americans are very much supported. We've seen it already in the Club World Cup. and it might be predominantly Palmeiras fans in the stadium. We shall see what it looks like. But yeah, even if the crowd is predominantly Palmeiras, hopefully Chelsea players can find that grit, find that that dog, that mongrel in them to really compete, because we need to beat Palmeiras and move into the semi-finals. And we need to shut up Abel Ferreira a little bit. You know what I mean? And trying to rally up the crowd, trying to rally up an army. We need to shut him up well. Next up, ladies and gentlemen, Chelsea want to ideally sell midfielder Leslie Oguchuku. He has received loan inquiries from Hamburg and Valencia. This is the thing. I mean, all of this stockpiling, everyone's going to make it. That's the bottom line. And look, this is one part of our revenue stream. This is definitely, we're going to be busy every single window. We will. This is how Chelsea want to operate under this new ownership, under this directorship, because they see that there's a large bit of money that can be made. Ugochukwu, I don't really remember how much we bought him for, but I'm pretty certain we can sell him for a decent amount of price. No one seems to want him on a permanent as yet. They still want to loan him. Ideally, we want to sell him and make the money and move on. But I think this is one player that's not going to make it at Chelsea football. We just that. And don't forget, Amugu's gone to Strasbourg on loan. So Ugochukwu, unfortunately, your Chelsea career, before it even started, it's already ended. Now it's just a matter of let's try and find the right club, and hopefully we can sell. If not, loan. If he does blow up, then okay, it's a bit of a headache for us next season. What do we do? Do we keep him? If not, someone is going to come and take him away for us. Last but not least, Jamie Gittins' fee, 48.5 million plus 3.5 million add-ons. A lot of people expected a lot more add-ons as opposed to the initial fee. See, the fee is 48.5. We probably paid, 40 was probably the right amount. We probably paid 8.5 million more. The way it really should have been 40 plus 5 million in add-ons. And now it's turned out to be 48.5 plus 3.5 million in add-ons, taking the whole deal to 52, right? Yeah, 52. Yeah, it's probably a bit too much. But look, if he blows up, if he does well, then we will not even talk about this ever. And maybe this is the standard price these days. Around that 50 million mark is probably the standard price. As I said, if he does well at Chelsea Football Club, no one's even going to bat an eyelid on that price. But if he doesn't, then could we at least make this type of money back again? Maybe we can. He's young, and maybe we can still fetch that type of money. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the latest in everything that's going on in Chelsea Football Club. Let me know your thoughts, especially about Madueke. And are you concerned that if he moves to Arsenal, we might regret? Let me know your thoughts. Smash up the like button. If you're here for the first time, subscribe, hit the bell notification to stay in touch with all my content. We're going to have the watch-alongs. We're going to do the Al Hilal, God willing. And definitely we're going to do the watch-along for Chelsea versus Palmeiras, inshallah. So make sure you guys are all there. And we're going to talk about the game in details a lot more in the pre-match show before the watch-along. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, take care. See ya. Goodbye.